Hey, before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, so we're working away at this pile here, and as you can see last week, we took a box out of the middle there. It's gone. We're gonna take this one now. It's one of the boxes that's a little bit older, and let's see what's inside. All right, it looks like we've got multiple bots here. First, this is from tfsource.com, where I purchased it. 1, 2, 3, and done. But there we go. Okay, so what this is Mastermind Creations Ocular Max Perfection Series, Terraegis Rally, as you can read there. This is based on the mold for Terraegis, and that was their version of Trailbreaker. I got it because I thought it was cool. I mean, it's got the rally number here on the side, so it looks like a pretty tough truck when you take a look at the box. I thought he would be a cool addition to the collection. Not that I know him as a character from the G1 cartoon series. It was just a cool buy. Spin around the box. Got some good looking box art and nice illustration on the back with your bio card, but for some reason they had the illustration run over the bio card. And then there you go, a little bit of a wider view of the character there on this panel. I have Terraegis already. I just haven't done a video on him because I had him as part of my collection before I started doing the YouTube videos. So we're gonna leave this one aside, just acknowledge that it was in the pile and that it was in this box. We unboxed it, and we're gonna move on. All right, so this is very similar. This is also Mastermind Creations, their Ocular Max Perfection series. And this is their PS-07 Artifex, which is their version of Hoist. I wasn't super excited about Hoist as a character, back when I was a kid. And looking back at the character design in the cartoon, he just looks really funky. So the fact that Mastermind Creations did this so well and made him look so presentable. The update that they've done to him, I think, is an improvement on the cartoon, and it's a much better looking toy than the original toy. I mean, any reinterpretation of one of the G1 cartoon characters in a masterpiece scale form is probably better than any one of the G1 toys ever thought about being. Quick tour of the box. Some cool side art there. Back panel with the signature Mastermind Creations transformation sequence of photos. Very, reminiscent of like the G1 kind of box look. There we go. We got up close and personal on his face. And there you go. All right, looking pretty cool there in his box. Wow, oh no. Was this the beginning of the cartoon aesthetic movement? Ah, so much white plastic. Yuck. Okay, not so bad. I was misrecalling how much chrome/metal detailing there was on Trailbreaker. He's got it where it's important. I thought his thighs were some kind of metallic, but they're not. So I'm going to reserve judgment on Hoist, but just a little reality check there. All right, we've got accessories, his card, his little bio reader, and his instruction manual, all right here. Looks like we've got two heads in here. We've got a alternate face for Sphinx. Mastermind Creations version of Mirage. Well, we do have 3 heads. We've got a... Well, let's just open it up and check it out. First things first, the collector's card. Looking pretty sweet, like usual. Slight glossy. It's a little bit thin, but, you know, they always are, but they always look good. So, very cool. The classic bio reader. All right, there you go. Instruction manual. A little long fold-out thing, I guess. Yep. Follow the directions. And hopefully you don't screw up your bot. The other side. More instructions. And we've got some credits here. And look at that. Let's see. Pig for Life provides the video manual. So, very cool. Pig for Life's in there. Check out his channel. All right, back to the heads. We've got an alternate face for Mastermind Creations Sphinx, their version of Mirage. Looks like we've got 2 alternate heads for a Hoist here. The cartoon one, I don't know which one the cartoon one's supposed to be, but I think this one looks, the gray one looks more like the cartoon one, I think. Not an expert on Hoist, but that seems to look the closest to it. All right, there we go. He's got 2 rocket launchers, so that's pretty cool. He's got his force field emitter, and then a choice of adapters, however you want to attach it to him. 2 hammers. I don't know what the hammers are about, but that's what these are, apparently.
If anyone can repair the Dinobots, Ratchet, Wheeljack, and Hoist can.
The tools on Cybertron were vastly superior.
Everything was better on Cybertron.
And a couple of tiny side view mirrors, as well as a couple of adapters so you can hang stuff off of him. All right, he's already looking way better than the cartoon character, so I'm very thankful for that. I'll get him suited up with accessories and whatnot, and we'll check him out in bot mode. All right, word to the wise, when you're putting his weapons on, there's a cool build you can do, which is shown on the brochure here, where you can have a rocket launcher on his wrist instead of his fist. But if your rocket launcher came assembled like mine did, be very careful with this part, because I was able to get this one off so that I can then make this the rocket fist. But my other one, I ended up with a broken rocket launcher, and I don't have a peg now if I wanted to make this into a hand. So I'm going to contact Mastermind Creations. Here's their customer care email alias. And I'm going to see if they'll send me an extra part. But yeah, it's disappointing. It was so badly stuck on there. I ran it under hot water. Well, first of all, I soaped it up, ran it under water, turned the water to hot, and then, grabbed each end with a non-slip surface. I used a paper towel on both ends and then pulled it apart, maybe kind of twisting as I went. And that seemed to work. It did not break. But if you're trying to separate this, make sure you take extra measures to not break this nub. Again, if you did break the nub, here is Mastermind Creations contact info, and it's in the video description below. There's also a good list of company contact info on tfw2005.com that has various third-party companies listed, and any contact information, website information that the people on the forum were able to find. So check that out as one of your resources as well if you need to. All right, back to building the bot. All right, I think he's looking pretty slick in his bot mode. Good looking version of Hoist. The details are nice. He's got some good yellow and black striping, which is very cool. I think I'm going to change out his head. I think it'll look a little bit more like the cartoon, which as far as nostalgia goes is fine with me. And booyah! There's Hoist in his G1 glory. Let's look at the overall build and posability. So he's got a little bit of a head tilt down. He's got a head tilt up. He's got a swivel 180 degrees. He does not have a side-to-side tilt, but overall, not bad posability for the head. He has a bicep swivel, good elbow articulation, more than a 90 degree. He's got 5 total digits here that are independent of each other. Index finger is the only one that has the straightest articulation. The other 3 are stuck in kind of a C shape, but they do articulate separately. So, not bad. The thumb's on a ball joint so that it's got good articulation there. At least not horrible. So that's good. He is a little loose. He's a little floppy. So his elbows are a little floppy. They're a little loose anyway. Maybe not floppy, but definitely his hips and legs are, mostly it's around his midsection that's floppy. He's got decent knee action. It holds that pose, and that's like a 90 degree right there. He's got 90 degree sitting position, so that's not bad. That's really good. Toes can flex out if you want him to be, a ballerina. His ab crunch is limited, but he does have an ab tilt. And his waist swivel is also limited by the fact that he's got this backpack here, and that's where that sits. So the hips will collide. So you do have some limited hip action, but you'll still be able to get him into some kind of pose. So that's probably not going to be too bad. If he poses like Trailbreaker, I didn't do too much posing with Trailbreaker, to be honest. So not sure exactly how he'll work out, but overall I like what I see, and I think he'll pose fine. If I could be a little critical, his rocket is nice and chrome. However, there is the part of it that sticks out, so you can mount it to his shoulder, and that's green. So it would have been nice if they had chromed that just to hide it when it's in this mode, just to make it more seamless. I don't think that would have been asking too much. They chromed the entire stock here for the force field emitter, so why not? But there you have him. Hoist in robot mode. There you have it, a really good vehicle mode. It just looks really nice. It's got rubber wheels. Things are tabbing together pretty well now. But what it took to get to this was ridiculous. I took this thing apart because the camp shell, well, not the camp shell, but the work shell on the back that goes over the legs that supports this trailer bar, that whole assembly here was not fitting flush to the truck bed. The metal slide in the middle of the bot when you're transforming it from robot to vehicle mode is supposed to slide open. It was very dry feeling. It did not actually pull out and sound like it was snapping into place like it had gotten to the end. The legs had actually not gotten quite far enough into the truck bed to allow the cover to come down flush to the truck. So word to the wise, if you have this bot and it's not transforming well into the truck mode, then go ahead and you probably need to check that slide and see if that slide is dry. If that slide is dry, I definitely recommend getting some kind of plastic metal safe oil that you can go and lubricate that with. So if you're new to Transformers, Masterpiece collecting, especially if you're new to third-party collecting, make sure that you're gentle and patient when you go through one of these third-party vehicles. For me, I think Mastermind Creations is the company I'm going with for my truck bots like this. So that's my Trailbreaker, that's my Hoist, but they're not without their problems. The legs can be complex to transform. Definitely get a reference video of that if you're not understanding the instructions. Check out Pake for Life. His video helped me out from his channel, so thanks for that. In the process of transforming this, I did break the mirror here on the left-hand side. So I'm gonna have to replace that mirror. And this mirror, it looks like I got a little bit of a stress mark here, a little bit of the kind of that whitening effect. So not too noticeable, and it's fine. It's okay, it hasn't broken. But, it's a bummer that you're just trying to transform the thing and you break apart. And because you can't get it to fit like it's supposed to fit, in the final fit and finish of things. Another thing that this one seems to be pretty good It rolls nicely. It feels really good. It's got these rubber wheels. I really like the chrome. So I can't fault them for the looks. The looks are great. But the tabbing, this was a problem on my Trailblazer. The tabbing thing back here, the wheels tab into the body in order to become stable. There's no axle for them to roll on, so they kind of just tab into these sides. So on my Trailbreaker, there wasn't a lot of resistance on the tab for one of the wheels, so it would just kind of splay off like that, and then you'd have this kind of wonky rear wheel. So you had to make sure that you tucked them in, but this one seems to be holding that tab pretty well. So we'll see how that goes. So far, so good, but just be aware that that can also be a fiddly bit on the vehicle. So here's a spin. Moving on. All right, it's time for our MixelPix Transformers Time Warp Takara Tomy Masterpiece Scale Comparison Test. Let's bring out our two standards, MP10 Convoy, aka Optimus Prime, and MP21 Bumblebee. All right, let's see how Mastermind Creations PS-07 Artifex, aka Hoist, stacks up against the actual MPs. Here he is. I think he looks really good next to these two guys. I don't see him having any problem fitting into my MP scale collection, not unlike Mastermind Creations Ocular Max Perfection Series Trailbreaker, aka Terraegis. All right, that's it for this episode of MixelPix Transformers Time Warp. I'm Mike. Go ahead, give me a like or an unlike, leave a comment, and subscribe. And to those of you who have already subscribed, I want to thank you, and I want to thank any new subscribers. And as always, until next time, happy collecting, everybody.